reality. And so far we've had some interesting conversations here on the show tonight, and we've had some healings, healings being done by our guest Jim Janakos, and the healings are actually being done from Japan, but it doesn't really matter where you are. In fact, you could be on the moon and doing the healings from there. You could be on Mars and doing the healings from there. It wouldn't really matter, as long as there's some kind of a connection, which there always is through this universe. And I've explained that in several other shows. But it's interesting to do this live and without seeing the patient, but we're discovering it more and more. And it's happening with acupuncture, it's happening with chiropractic and so forth, and much more so prevalent with quantum healing and certainly with energy healing. And so we encourage all of you to call in, folks, at 781-325-4569, and tell us if you have some kind of an ailment, especially if you have the ailment current at this time, and especially if it's something that you have had difficulty, getting it cured. And I think just before we took on break, I think we were asking the producer of the show, Lucy Diamond, if she had any issues. Maybe Tim can talk to her about those.
Hello, hi Tim.
Hello.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So if I were a magical magician, what would you want to accomplish?
A magical magician? I don't even know.
So what's is there anything? It could be pain. It could be relationship problems. It could be energy problems. It could be anything that you would want to overcome if I was able to do something beyond your wildest imagination.
Oh, if you could unbreak my heart, that would be great.
Unbreak your heart. Okay, so everywhere you decided that your heart could be broken, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate everything that is and everything that brings up times the Buddha zillion?
See, what's that question?
So every time I say something that you can't hear, it means that I push the button that you actually need to be pushed. So once again, everywhere you thought or you were implanted or explanted with the belief that you could have your heart broken, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate it all times the Buddha zillion?
Okay, yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pod and poc, shorts, boys and beyond. So talking of heart, we were talking about the brain. The Heart Math Institute says the heart is actually has a lot more memory than the brain actually does. And the heart is actually measured. They can measure the energy of the heart waves from a closed-off room to another room. The person's heart energy will actually be registered in the other person's body that's in another room if they're thinking about them. So your heart is the most amazing organ of the body, and actually we don't even know really enough about the heart. We're learning more and more in science and energy healing, and everyone's learning the heart. But in Chinese, the character for heart is actually, and the character for brain, both uses part of the same symbols, because they believe the brain and the heart are actually inseparable organs. So the good thing is, you as an infinite being can never have your heart broken. This idea of having your heart broken is just an implanted belief that is implanted in you to make you think that you're a limited being and you could be in any way hurt or destroyed. So everywhere you're not willing to claim, own, and acknowledge that you are an infinite being from time without beginning, and there's nothing that ever can hurt or destroy your infiniteness, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate everything that is and everything that brings up times the Buddha zillion?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pod and poc, shorts, boys and beyond. I should have asked you, how was your heart feeling before I, on a level 1 to 10, 10 being like totally heartbroken and 1 being not anything at all, before I started saying all this crazy stuff?
I'll go to 7.
7, okay, so have you noticed any lightness around your heart area now?
No.
No, okay, that's fine. So you have a heart wall. So a heart wall is one of the main things that the emotion code and the body code does. It's a bunch of trapped emotions trapped around your heart because your heart wants to think it's protecting you by putting this wall around it. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't allow good and bad energy to come in or out, and it blocks off a lot of the radiance of the heart. So can I release a trapped emotion from her heart wall? Yeah. Okay, it's anxiety. Do we need to know anything more about it? No. Does she have more than 1, more than 100, more than 1,000? These hundreds of trapped emotions of anxiety, can I release them all at the same time? Yeah. Do I need to know anything more? No. Release all these from her body, mind, spirit, energy system, and heart wall, and anywhere else they might be. Are these all going? Yeah. Does she have any? No. She still have a heart wall. Yeah. She has a psychic trauma. 2 emotions, 3 emotions. Crying and confusion. So about 5 or 6 years ago, this psychic trauma of crying and confusion got trapped in your body. Your body believes about 5 or 6 years ago. Does that bring anything to your mind at all?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. Good. So this, do we need to know anything more about it? No. Can we just release this psychic trauma? Yeah. So psychic trauma is anytime you have 2 or 3 emotions or more trapped at the same time in your body. It's usually an overwhelming experience. So releasing all this psychic trauma and any other psychic trauma she has in her body, mind, spirit, energy system, or heart wall. Is this all gone? Yeah. Anything else affecting? No. You probably have more layers to the heart wall, but did you notice any shift in your feeling of heartbreak?
No.
No?
But it's interesting that, you would have gotten the year correct.
Yeah. So the cool thing is, yeah, the information's stored in your body and it's easily recallable. Like if I was doing hypnosis, we can go back to past lives, but I actually do work with past lives. So there is issue with actually past life. Would you like me to work on your past life a little?
That would be interesting.
Okay.
Sure.
So your body thinks you were a male in your past life. Whether that's true or not, it doesn't really matter, because you're in your energy body. You can have actually other people's information stored, like a parent's information. So it could be we're picking up on your dad or someone else's past life. It doesn't really matter whether it's you or not. But anyway, it's stored in your body. So if we work on it, it releases whatever that memory is, and you don't have to make it your reality. So your body thinks whoever this person was 5 or 6 years ago that caused you to have this psychic trauma of crying and confusion, it was because of the relationship you had when you were a male in another lifetime with that person. So it's called cording, and we can release all this cording that you guys share through all time, space, dimensions, and realities. So whoops, someone's breathing real loud. Okay, so releasing all this cording she had with this person from all lifetimes past and in the future, because time is actually cyclical, which we can get into if you want to, but anyway. Releasing it all from her body, mind, spirit, energy system. Is this all gone? Yeah. Anything else we need to do about that? No. Has your feeling of 7 gone down a little?
I'm not so sure. No.
Okay. You might notice tomorrow, or you might notice after, because a lot of times what we do is so subconscious that it's hard to consciously be aware of what's going on, and then days later you might just all of a sudden start feeling happy, and then people around you go, "What have you done?" And you're like, "I don't know, I'm the same person." But a lot of times you don't notice, but other people do. So that's cool. Is there something else? No, we shouldn't do anything more on it. Your body says that's all for now.
Well, wonderful. Well, we're in touch, so at least I'll be able to get back to you.
Yeah,
you know.
definitely.
Do we have a new caller on the line, Lucy?
I don't know. Is there a caller?
I noticed the phone went off and then back on, I thought.
Let me have a look. Nope.
Okay.
781-325-4569. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Yeah. But it is kind of interesting that you kind of nailed the time frame,
Yeah.
on that one, Lucy.
I have clients that they give me 3 or 4 things to work on in a session, and most of my clients I do proxy session, which means I work on them while they're sleeping, and I send them an MP3 file, because that's most of my clients are in another country, and my sleep time is their awake time. So I can't always work on them while they're awake, and I don't have time to call them all and talk to them on Skype. So they give me 2 or 3 issues, and then I work on them, and their body says there's all these other issues, and they said, well, I completely forgot about it. Yes, I do have that issue. I am addicted to chocolate. And all of a sudden, their body says, all these things that they didn't tell me about, and they're like, how did you know that? How did you know that? How did you know that? And so, yeah, everything's there. It'll come up if it needs to come up.
Interesting. Now, Tim, I noticed that you you know, hesitating and then answering a question. Are you looking? Is there some kind of a manual that you basically referencing when when you're working on this?
Yes, I'm using the body code mind map, which is a hyperlinked text that has thousands and thousands of pages. So I look at one page, and then I look at what. When I first started, I would ask, is it on the right side of the page or the left side of the page, and I would get a yes or a no with muscle testing. Then I would say, okay, is it an odd row or even row, and I would narrow it down. It would take a long time. But recently, my body says not to do that anymore, just to go with exactly what it comes to my mind. So when I look at the page, it's kind of like, for me, my eye goes right to the one that it is. It kind of like lights up. And then I just click on that one, and it opens a new page. And then I look at that page for a moment, and my body just tells me which one of the many things on that page. And I click on that, and it goes to a new page. So each time I have to click on a page, it gives me new awareness.